Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a simple decal sheet. This is like a trim sheet, but we're going to use decals or create decals. So first off, I'm going to show you an update for an upcoming update for the panel cutter add-on, and also why do I have this on every time in my video. That is because I have hundreds of this and I never really leave the house, so there's no need for me to wear anything else. Okay, let's go. And one of the updates for panel cutter is the offset. So for example, that is in this preset here. So if you offset this, it's going to offset like it has a face connected to it on this other side in this transition. So it's going to offset like this instead of this. So that will be fixed in the upcoming update. And again, or the other one is the new merge parameter, which will merge the overlapping edges. Vertices when you try to bevel the face islands. Okay, so with this update, you can now create circles and then just increase the merge. If you encounter some geometry like this, for example, you can just increase the merge carefully, or probably not this one, but something like, okay, so 0.001. So if you encounter any something like that, you can get rid of it using merge. Okay, so on to our exercise. We're going to start with a plane. So what we're going to do is create a decal sheet and then bake those details and create asset, or create an item, make them as an item for the asset browser. So you can just drag and drop them from the browser to your scene. Okay, and we're going to use sections. Just I'll divide this, and so for example, this one here, I'm going to just pressing F to make them as a single face, and then panel cut. So I'm going to bevel and use 5 segments. Okay, probably set this to the default 0.001, 0.0001. Okay, and margin, increase the margin. Okay. Increase the margin still, and then modify the bevel. And then for this one, I'm going to set spacing between the decals. Okay, so this one here, it's inset like that, and we're going to create circle and make sure that those overlaps have been merged. There we go. And something like this. Toggle on, let's reset to the default preset, toggle on boundary edges, and try and bevel. So just a single segment to look like that. And then select another one. So maybe just one. So another shape here we can use or do. So giving them spacing just makes sure that you can just space them. You can space the UVs much more comfortably because you have a margin. So when I am scaling the face for this part, for example, and I have ample margin here to do that and not cover this area here. Okay. Of course, you can do this manually, but it'll take time. So that's what the add-ons do. Just save you time. Instead of clicking like 5 buttons, you only click 1 button. But as far as everything goes, most of the add-ons that in Blender, you can do manually. But of course, yeah, takes time. So this one here, delete them, create another one. Reset. I'm going to modify the thickness. Create this here. Modify the margin and then the thickness. So something like that. And let's turn this into single faces. Reset and you can choose to bevel or not. Okay. Setting back the or resetting the thickness to something smaller. You can also create like this part here, but with random beveling. So let's just modify the thickness and then click here to toggle off the uniform bevel, and then you can start playing around with the min-max values. There we go. And we can increase the segments to make them smoother. And you can play around with the bevel seed to, of course, affect the shape, or to randomize the bevel for each corner verts. Here you go. Something like that. Okay, now I'm going to bake this using Greeble Bake. And let's go to images. I'm going to just bake the normal and the alpha. But the alpha needs to be separate because I need this hidden in order for it to work. I'm just going to save this decal sheet soon. Okay, selecting uh, our decal meshes and also the plane, which will serve as our origin point and our bake origin. Okay, toggle on bake the last images and something like 2048 for the map size. Okay, now let's bake the normal first. Takes a long time if you have a lot of objects to bake. Okay, now hide this. And since we created this using the panel cutter, it inherited the origin point of the source mesh, which was the plane. But this origin point here will be used as the bake origin point, the origin point of the baking of the bake to object created by the script. So if you have the origin point here of the bake origin object set here, then the plane will be created in that position. So it will be offset. So make sure that the center is exactly covers the entire bake from objects. So just to make sure that everything lines up when you're doing this, so just create the plane in the middle of the world. You can Shift S and cursor to world origin, and then create the plane from that. So later on in the project, you don't have to. You can just reference the world origin to position your plane if ever you lost the origin center. Okay, so select everything. But in this case, all of them inherited the origin point from the plane. So I can just make them without any problem. Without the bake to object offsetting. So bake alpha. Okay, bake origin. Just select anything for the selection. And this is our alpha. So hide everything except for the plane. And then we're going to create a shader for this and plug our uh, maps. So bake normal. Um, Go to vector and uh, connect normal map. And then I'm going to change the HRI. For the additional additional textures, you can just add it on the diffuse just to match the material that you're sticking this into. And then we have the alpha. Okay, connect this to the vector. Select our bake alpha and color to alpha. Okay. Now going to we're going to go here in object and set the visibility, ray visibility. This is in cycles. Click everything or toggle everything off except for the camera. This to make sure that doesn't contribute this ray passes on the ray visibility passes on the object underneath. So it looks like it's a part of the object underneath that we're trying to either shrink wrap or stick these objects into. Okay. Now we extract them. Shift D to duplicate. So that's why we like created this from the faces. Shift D. So this exercise will snap it into angular surfaces, but for curved surfaces, organic surfaces, that will be for another video. Okay, so I think we got them all. Yeah. And then this one, this one, this one. Okay. So select everything and P to separate by loose parts. And select all these objects that have been separated and set their origin to center mass surface. Okay. We didn't use the origin to geometry because this actually, look here. It's not the center because it averages the position of the vertices, but we have this here, and so it's kind of position this to that. So what we use instead is center of mass surface. Okay. Now to stick this into surfaces without actually creating a tangent between the surface plane and the plane of these objects here, we need to offset their origin point kind of here. So there's a margin between the actual faces and the origin point. Okay. Shift Q. I think, let me just see if set origin can do that. No. Okay. Since they are the flat plane essentially, look at those oranges, orange, oranges, orange dots. Uh, wait. Okay. There we go. So those orange dots are the origin point. So since these objects are basically in the same plane, we're just going to wait a minute. I think they are already offset it a bit. Okay, so they're supposed to be here, but in order to create a space, you can just select all of the faces and then just in edit mode and then kind of raise them up so there's an offset. So this works for angular surfaces when you don't have to shrink wrap. But if you shrink wrap this method, they will not work. Okay, the shrink wrap will actually get negate this technique. But for angular surfaces, it's okay. So select everything. We're going to try a sort asset, which is in the available only in the creative bundle. Grid array. So for example, this is your base file. Let's just delete the. I'll probably hide this one. Okay. Selecting these objects here. Sort asset. Grid array. Okay. It's minus. Something like that. Just to neatly. Actually, you can leave it as chaotic as you want. So I have OCD, so I just need to arrange this like this. Okay, now start asset again, and then mark as asset. You need to save this blend file to your asset folder, which can be done using the user preferences. You can set your asset browser folder there, and when you do this, you need to save this blend file to that folder. But in this case, I have set my blend save folder as my asset folder, so they're kind of one and the same. Okay, so mark as asset name is decal tests, and then description simple decals. Author is me. Tags separated by commas, so decal tests, and you can use comma space to separate your tags. This way you can search the tags. They're like search keywords in the asset browser to make you find them faster, or you can use the name. Clear tags, owner name. So okay, there we go. And now we will create our angular model, which is the box, the most basic angular model in the whole world. Our default cube. So you can see here that the items has been renamed decal test 001, 002, 003, up to 6. Okay. And after you've done this, you can just clean the other unrelated objects in your scene and just leave the decal meshes in the file. So we're going to go to, okay, I'm going to add bevel to this just to make just smooth out the surface. And now let's go to asset browser and in search here, decal tests Okay. Um, let's drag this. Okay. Um, there's black in the material. Is it because of the? Yeah, it's the offset. It's not offset. Why is that? Okay, delete this. Alt H. They're not offset. We've offsetted them. See, there's an offset, but this one doesn't have an offset. Okay. Maybe it resets the origin. No, it doesn't. So there is an offset, but it's kind of sticking. Dragging from the asset browser doesn't respect the position of the origin. So what we need to do is Control Shift Tab face. Okay. And do not align rotation. Okay. So when you stick this, just move it a bit and press Control. So it doesn't work like that also. Shift Tab. It should be placed on the position of the origin point, but it's not doing it. Okay. So what's the problem here? So Control Shift Tab, face closest region, face project. So it's not working. Oh, okay, it's working. There we go. Face project. So dragging from the web browser. Oh, what's web browser? Asset browser doesn't respect our origin placement. See here, there's a margin, and then there's no preview. I don't know why it's a preview. Just move it with G and press Control to activate the snapping. Then you can rotate, scale. I don't know about the preview, but okay. And after you've dragged it, move it with G hotkey and then press Control to activate the snapping. Remember that you have to set it to face, not face, face project. And, but I'm going to look at the thumbnail later on and why it kind of failed. This one didn't fail. So okay, drag and then press G and then Control. Okay, so this one here, scale. Oh, scale. What if I set origin to cursor selected and set origin to 3D cursor? Okay, it's the same thing. Okay, we need to set it. We need to do the the, snapping first. So there you go. This should be in a different file, our test object here, but you can still do it inside your decal blend file. So that's how you can just easily create your decal library using a plain object and baking it. You can do these things manually, model these things manually, and follow the workflow. Of course, it's going to take some time to set up, but you'll get there. But the important thing here is the workflow to create this thing. Of course, there are add-ons to do this, but uh, if you want to do it this way, using just the asset browser without any of the uh, complexities of other add-ons, you can just do this. Okay, and that's what I wanted to show you. You use the faces in the plane and create the decals with some margin, and of course sections. Use the faces as sections to shape the decals, and then just highlight those sections later on and separate them as separate objects, and then mark them as asset for the asset browser. You can go to outliner and then right click to do the mark asset manually. You can right click on object, and as you see here, mark as asset. You can click that. Okay, but with the add-on, of course, there's like the sort asset, there is other bonuses like you can type in the name, description, and the author, the tags, all that. Okay, but you can do it manually here. Mark as asset, and then you can set your tags in the asset browser. So yeah, and I think that's it for this video. If you have any questions, use the comment section below or the links in the description. Subscribe, like, comment, and share. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.